party is next Saturday. Are you going to be ready?
I delivered what she wanted.
You started that dress 10 minutes before I came for the first fitting. Now I'm thinking this is going to be a problem.
Someone in your family called me. He's like, oh, my son, he's stressed. He is in the hospital.
You went to the hospital?
He stressed me out. I did go to the hospital over the stress of it. I had to leave work. I couldn't function.
This is Judge Jerry Springer. To celebrate surviving cancer, Eleanor Bullock wanted the perfect dress to party in. The dress the defendant created was not only the wrong color, but it was also not ready in time for the party. She is suing for $425. Defendant Angela Turner claims the plaintiff never told her she was unhappy with the dress and never even bothered to pick it up. Angela says she did the work, so she owes nothing.
First, I should say to the plaintiff, Eleanor, congratulations. I'm very happy that, as I understand it, you are a breast cancer survivor.
I am.
I'm very happy for you for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Your Honor.
That is more important than anything else. You were going to have a celebration of life party?
Celebration of life, absolutely.
And you wanted her to make a pink dress for you?
Breast cancer pink dress.
And I guess that's the dress we're talking about there.
That is.
It's a very pretty dress. I wouldn't wear it.
I hope not, but okay.
Yeah. I look better in tights. Sorry, go ahead.
Your Honor, this starts back in March of 2019 when I was actually diagnosed with breast cancer. Once I heard the word cancer, I kind of left the room mentally, and that was 2 weeks after my birthday in March. So after a year of treatment, radiation, when March came in 2020, that was to be my 60th birthday. I'm over the major hurdle, so I started planning the party of the century.
She told me the story about being, being diagnosed with breast cancer. So I actually felt kind of honored to do this because she's celebrating. This is a moment for her.
Yeah.
Live entertainment, open bar, professionally catered, upwards of $10,000 for this party. In January, I started looking for Seamstress to make a dress, the dress of my dream. Guests were asked to wear black and white. The reason being, I was coming in a popping pink color, the only person in that color.
Sure.
All the decorations in the room were popping pink, the centerpiece cake. Everything was done in pink. Everything was done and paid for but this dress. I was recommended to Angela from a person that I trusted.
Yeah, she was referred to me from a happy client.
I showed her the picture of what I wanted and I said, do you think she can do this? She said, well, ask her. I don't know, ask her. So I went to see Angela.
If you go in my studio, you will see a mess because being a seamstress, being a professional, I am a doula, I'm a Girl Scout leader, a cookie mom, a mentor. I wear so many hats. So you would see my studio is kind of like you doing some work.
But I wanted a dress like this. So I showed it to Angela. She assured me, sure I can do that. I said, well, the day is the 31st of January, which was the day I saw her. I said, the party is going to be on March 7th. Can you have this dress ready by March 1st?
The dress was ready on the 1st.
We talked about color. I told her I wanted a breast cancer pink. I rep breast cancer.
Yeah.
And that particular day, I had on a sweater that was pink, and my nails were really pink. So I said to Angela, I want a pink kind of like these nails, a breast cancer pink.
As you see, I took a picture of the sweater and the nails. So I said, okay, is it within this family? Because I need a broad. I can't go to one fabric store and then pick out like, oh, perfect, for her nails. No, if they don't have that, I need something else. So as long as it's within the family. I did pick out
Would you wear that dress to a party?
Another pink that was in my room, and she said not that color. That was a little hot pink.
It was burgundy.
Now, when it was not burgundy, it was like
burgundy.
a magenta pink because I have that fabric in my closet.
This one was in your basement.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's the question I want to know. Was there ever a time before you made the final payment where you said, okay, that's the color I want, or no, I don't want this color?
I was never given the opportunity.
Ooh.
This dress that she has in front of you with this fabric, she never showed me a fabric before she said, this is the fabric we're going to make your dress out of. This is something I think she had in her basement.
Hang on.
And I never saw a receipt for the so-called $75 extra that she charged. I asked her, I said, well, how much would this dress cost? She said $350. I said, is that everything? She said, That's everything. She took some measurements and I left. I didn't hear from Miss Angela no more until I called her. And this is about 2-3 weeks down the road. I'm wondering why I haven't been called about swatches of color or coming in for a fitting. I placed several calls to her, no calls back, but then I got a text from her. She said, sorry, I was texting the wrong number. So that text went out several days after I was trying to reach her. So I started to get a little worried, as you can see. I'm saying to her, I don't have a plan B. Are we going to be okay? So finally on the 27th of February, after some communications, and it looked like she started this dress 10 minutes before I walked in the door. There was no zippers, there was no nothing. It was just pieces of fabric held together by straight pins. And I said to her, the party is next Saturday. Are you gonna be ready March 1st? Sure, no problem. The very next day, I think I left that day in tears with my husband because two things. One, I noticed the color wasn't breast cancer pink, it was more of a peach. And two, she's putting me off every day, not ready with this dress. Clearly hadn't done much on the dress.
If you know how to make a dress.
There were just pins. I'm a nurse, Your Honor.
So you have no idea how to do it.
All right.
And I'm not a seamstress.
Okay.
So that Friday, the very next day, which was the 28th, and I have that in there as well.
I see it.
I went to David's Bridals because now I'm thinking this is going to be a problem.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. The original agreement was that she would have the dress ready on March 1st.
Correct.
But you were getting worried because it was late February already and you hadn't even had the fitting, so you decided I better come up with a plan B because in 1 week is the party.
Correct.
Okay, but did you know that was going to be the color of the dress?
Not until the day I came when it was 9 days before the party. That's the day I left her house in tears.
That's a lie.
The day before I went to David's Bridals.
How I know that's a lie, because after you had that fitting, as your receipt shows, that's when you went to David's Bridal after that. So you already knew from the door that you were not going to, you didn't like this dress, period.
The color.
So you had every opportunity to come to me and say, hey, we need to change something. I do this. This is what I do. So I have times when I stay up late at night, I am tired. My husband can contest where I'm drinking Red Bulls 5 hours to where I have to stay up to finish something for someone.
You started that dress 10 minutes before I came for the first fitting.
I'm looking at texts here, and I see...
I hope she gave you all the text messages.
Okay, I see on March 1st, which is when it was supposed to be completed initially, and you text her, good afternoon, Eleanor. I have a client that went into labor this afternoon. I will call you later today. If I get back too late today, tomorrow at 5 or 5:30, is that okay for you, or Tuesday? And you said Tuesday is better, and you said okay, so.
Okay, yep.
All right, and the event is March 7th?
Correct, and the dress wasn't ready on the 3rd.
Okay. Hi, Eleanor, confirming today at 5 or 5:30. But
And
that's
I would like
March
to talk to them
3rd.
too.
March 3rd. March 7th, you say, hi, Eleanor, good morning. Dress has been ready for pickup. Let me know when you're available to pick it up. And then she says back to you, you breached our agreement from the beginning when you failed to contact me and I had to reach out to you. You truly frightened me about time, causing me to secure a contingency plan.
What did you wind up wearing to the party?
The dress that I settled for at David's Bridal, because it was a formal affair, this I wouldn't wear to the corner store. But the formal dress that I had on from David's Bridal, although the color is not what I wanted, I settled for it because it's pink.
I understand you're upset, but that...
But I delivered what she wanted. It wasn't to her liking, as she should have told me. Now, because she said, I'm going to strap this down. I don't want to show this. I'm going to strap this down.
It wasn't strapped down in that dress.
Yeah, because it's 2 times the size of you now. This is made to her exact measurements.
Unfortunately,
but because
I'm
going to strap this down.
And thank God COVID took a couple pounds
off.
Well,
unfortunately, my mom passed away due to COVID the day after Christmas. So let's not play that.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Sorry, no, that's not fair.
Well, what was said was 2 times the size.
You don't have to disparage her.
Weight behind COVID.
Well, my mother's going behind COVID, so
Okay.
what are you saying? You ain't saying nothing.
She made a dress. It's not the dress you wanted.
Look at it.
I understand where you're both coming from. I don't think there's any question you put work in, and that's what you do. And just looking at it, that's a very pretty
mess,
dress.
a mess.
Well, okay, being a father of a daughter who went through this with wedding dresses, part of your business is not just your artistic skill, which you obviously have, but from a client point of view, part of getting a dress for an event is what's built up in the person's mind and the worries and the concerns. And when you get down to not in her mind knowing for sure, you may be sure that the dress is going to be ready on time,
Absolutely.
but she's not.
Right.
And she had reason to worry about it because there had been already changes because of things that happened in your life. Putting myself in her position, if it's a day or two before the event or even that day, and you're still not sure, for whatever reason, you're not sure that the dress is going to be ready, that puts a damper on the whole event because you've been so scared the day or two leading up to it that by the time the event is there, you're exhausted. The emotional cost of it. One of the things, when it was recommended that you should be hired, is that you would not only put a nice dress, but that is something she could check off a list. The event was not what it was hoped to be because she had those days of worry, and so therefore I fined for the plaintiff in the sum of $425.
Thank you, Judge Jerry.
Thank you.
Things that she did say, well, it was intense. That's the shell of the fabric. That's what it's supposed to be when you're doing the first fitting. That's how it's supposed to be.
I couldn't tell you any person that I know that would have worn that dress.
Plaintiff Daniel Nissan claims the defendant was uninsured and driving carelessly in bad weather when he smashed head-on into Daniel's car. Daniel says the defendant dodged him when he tried to collect, and the stress landed him in the hospital. He's suing for $5,000. Defendant Nasir Thompson admits he didn't have insurance at the time of the accident, but accuses the plaintiff of using family connections to drive up the price of the repairs, and he isn't about to be taken for a ride.
Looks like I'm looking at two nice young men who can't drive. No, just. So you're suing him because
Yes, I
what
am
happened?
suing him for $5,000
Yes.
for damages that he caused to my car and to my vehicle in an auto accident,
Yes.
in which he was at fault. So I had no choice but to sue him. I was coming home and I was going onto the highway on the ramp. The defendant was exiting off of the highway.
Okay, do we have a diagram of that?
Yes, we do.
Why don't I take a look at that?
So as you can see here, this is me in the blue car over here on my lane.
Okay, now I noticed there's snow there.
Yes, this happened on February 11th.
Yeah.
You
Ooh.
can tell that the road
Ow.
conditions were very bad that day. It was slippery, it was snowing, and he was driving recklessly. As you can see, I'm on my lane. He's
Ooh.
getting out of his lane over the snowbank and onto my lane.
Okay.
So therefore, you can tell that he was driving negligently.
I want to disagree with what he just said.
Okay, well, I'll make the judgment whether it was negligent, but I understand what you're saying. He hit the snow and he hit you in the front.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Now, what happened after that, the police came over and they exchanged information. They asked him for his insurance. He claimed that day that he had insurance, but he couldn't pull it up because it was on he didn't have the insurance card, he had it on his phone. And so when the airbag came from the impact, his phone was cracked and did not work anymore.
But do you have insurance?
Yes.
You now have insurance?
Yes.
But you didn't then?
No. And
That's why you gotta have insurance.
my phone broke on impact.
And they did give him a ticket.
First of all, I was coming from work, and as I was getting off the exit, I
Yes.
slid on black ice.
Yes.
There was black ice, I couldn't see.
No one's accusing you here of doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it was icy conditions. Now, the law on icy conditions is that you have to drive considering what the conditions are, because you could see if it was simply that the city could always be blamed for ice on the road, then as soon as the snow came down, no city could function. Not
Your
to say
Honor,
that
I would
any
also like
city
to add,
functions anyway. Yeah,
if you don't
except
mind.
the fire department, they're always very good. He's a firefighter during off-season.
On the second page, you see that on the left side, I had insurance, but on the right side, the defendant did not have insurance. And if you take a look at Exhibit B on the first page, where the officer wrote down his notes, they mention that he admitted fault and guilt, that he lost control of his vehicle, went out of his lane, over a snowbank, onto my lane, and caused the accident.
I see that.
I would
Yes.
also like to add that that night we exchanged contact information and we spoke on the phone several times, and he promised, he swore up and down that he will take care of it by the end of the week, and he will pay for it, and there will not be an
How
issue.
much are the damages?
The total damages was $5,830.63. The front bumper was replaced, the radiator was replaced, the front bumper cover was replaced, they replaced the headlights as well, they repaired the hood, they replaced the front grille, they're also charged for labor as well.
My guess is the accident happened, you got out to make sure everyone's okay, so
Yeah.
said to
I
him,
checked him. That's the first
you
thing I
weren't, quote, misbehaving. He wasn't being mean or anything.
In the beginning, he was a gentleman. He said
Exactly.
he accepted fault. He was going to pay for it. The reason why I ended up coming to court and suing him was because of how unfair he was afterwards. When I started to give him a call and to arrange a time to meet, he even told me come and make a visit at his home, and you'll have the payment on a Friday. So I called him throughout the week just to confirm with him that are we still okay to meet on this day and have the payment in hand. He made an excuse and he said, you know what, can I just get a hold of your mechanic? I would like to speak with him, and then I'll take care of it from there.
Okay, at what point did you tell him that it was $5,000 and something?
This was after.
A few days after the accident,
After that?
Yes.
I want to add something on
Sure, go ahead.
what he said about his vehicle. When we were at the scene, right?
Yeah.
He was able to leave the scene first, so the vehicle was still operable.
You drove the vehicle away?
Yes,
from the,
correct. I was able to
so
drive the vehicle away.
did work?
The vehicle did work. It did drive out of the scene.
That's why I got in contact with his mechanic to get a clearer.
And what did the mechanic say?
He said, and first of all, his mechanic is his father, right?
Mechanic is not my father.
It was someone related to him. He's like, my son, his father, someone in your family calls me. He's like, oh, my son, he's stressed. He is in the hospital, he's sick. That's what he's calling me and telling me. And
You went to the hospital?
He stressed me out. I did go to the hospital over the stress of it. I had to leave work. I couldn't function. I didn't have a vehicle. He kept telling me that he's going to pay for the vehicle. He never paid for the vehicle. So I had to get a rental car, and it caused me a lot of stress. And even his mother called, and she also swore that his mom said by the end of the week we'll pay for it. Again, the mechanic tried to follow up with him just to confirm so that he can start repairs on my vehicle. But again, not only the defendant did not respond back to the calls, but his mother also did not respond. So I had no choice but to sue.
I think you're in a position because you didn't have insurance. This whole thing could have just gone away. I fined for the plaintiff in the amount that he sued for $5,000.
He was found guilty, just like he should have been.
Judge Jerry, he does a good job. He has a good sense of humor.
I'm very happy with the decision that Judge Jerry decided. It's great to be here, and I'm happy to see that there is a judge that tries to do good justice for the people and the citizens of America.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.